At Bathmasters, we literally handle everything from A to Z, including your permits and all your inspections. So, Serenity, how long have you been working with permits as a permits inspection manager?
I've been here about 3 years.
Great, that's excellent. So, how do you help the customers? What's involved with getting a permit? Do we pull permits, often?
Yeah, we pull permits every time whenever it's applicable. We go ahead and I get every single piece of paperwork that they would possibly need, so that way they don't have to worry about anything like that. File it with the county, make sure we get it all good, and then handle all the inspections aspects so we can get it closed after the job's done too.
Great. So, in the last 3 years, how many permits have you personally helped pull?
Just under 1,000.
Just under 1,000. So that's like 333. Now that's building permits. That's not total permits because we have the plumbing and then the electrical and mechanical permits in addition to the building. So it's probably 4 times that, really,
Absolutely.
or something. Yeah. So, and then inspections. Like how many inspections did we do last year?
Right over 8,000.
8,000, or is that over 3 years or 1 year?
After 3 years.
Oh, after 3 years.
8,000.
Okay. Yeah, 8,000 over 3 years. Okay. So anyway, so these are all required, and you help the customers. Do we send them somewhere else to go get things notarized? Or
Absolutely not.
in-house?
Everything's handled here. All the notaries, all the signatures, every piece of filing and getting it approved is all here.
Now, is this a part-time gig or is this like a full-time
No,
thing
this
for
is
you?
a full-time thing.
Okay. Now, is this something you can just do on the computer nowadays, or you still have to like actually drive to
It's a bit of
places?
both.
Okay. So how many municipalities do we work with just in Pinellas County? Like, what are the different building departments? What about roughly?
Roughly 20.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's just Pinellas County.
Yeah. And then over in Tampa, we have
We've
South
got
Tampa,
a couple others, yeah.
and Hillsborough, and Pasco, and
Exactly.
yeah. So just so you know, it's actually a lot of work to do, but it is, you have to do it if you're going to do it legally. And so, I mean, you deal with the people at these 20 different building departments all the time. Do you think we're overdoing it? Do they tell you that maybe we shouldn't be pulling a permit?
They definitely use this as their examples for other contractors.
Okay. All right, great. And can people get in trouble if they don't pull a permit? and get caught?
Absolutely.
What can happen to them?
They can get fined, they can get thrown in jail, they can get their license removed. It's just an all-around better idea to go ahead and use it with permits.
Yeah. And we actually do something else with permits, which is pretty cool. We offer to you, and that is that we actually use what's called the private provider system, which is really a third-party engineer. It's an engineering company, a professional engineer licensed to be able to inspect all the trades. So instead of us dealing with 20 different municipalities, each municipality has its own set of rules, right?
They do.
Okay, so in order to schedule an inspection, we'd have to. What is it when you're dealing with a municipality? Before we had the professional engineer helping us,
Of course.
what's kind of time frames did they give you? If we ordered an inspection today for a plumbing inspection, when do we know? Do we know when they show up?
They would tell us all day or morning or afternoon. They would give us a time slot and then show up either at the end of the time slot, right after the time slot, or sometimes not even come by at all. Like, it's just a big open window that there's no certainty for it.
Okay, so we've done thousands of permits, obviously. We've done, I don't know, 10,000 inspections or something here in Florida, in Pinellas County. So I can tell you the way it is without a professional engineer. The way it is without a professional engineer is you're dealing with separate inspectors for plumbing, for electrical, for mechanical, which would be like your vent fan in a bathroom, for your building permit, which includes like the installation inspection, the framing inspection, the final inspection. There's about 8 or 9 inspections that typically go down in a full bathroom remodel. I mean, even in a tub to shower conversion, which we specialize in tub to shower conversions, there's still about 6 inspections. Plumbing's got 3. There's they call it the first plumbing rough in. Rough in's the stuff that's below the floor or behind the walls, right? They have a first plumbing and they have a second plumbing rough in. One of them is for the shower pan that we built, or put in a tub or whatnot. That would be the first one. The plumbing underneath that, and the second one is for the valve behind the wall. And then they have a final plumbing inspection to make sure everything works. So we're having to coordinate with a lot of different municipalities, and they each have their own inspectors. So if you took like 4 different types of inspectors, they have multiple of each type, times 20. We're dealing with like 100 different inspectors, right?
Yeah.
Different personalities, different times, and sometimes they're actually, when they get overloaded, like Pinellas County, they have a contract and they actually just outsource it to people week by week or day by day. They pay them like $400 a day for engineers or architects to make some extra money, and they just come in and they work 1 day a month. And so they're not actually city inspectors trying to do the stuff. So anyway, there's a thing which fortunately Florida offers, and we're big enough that we can take advantage of it. And that's, we use a professional engineer for all of our, anywhere we can. What's the percentage of times that we can use him?
Like 90%.
Okay, there's certain places, certain municipalities in Pinellas County where we have to use the city inspectors, depending on where you live, and we can go over that. The vast majority, we can use our own engineer. You have to sign off on it as a customer. He is insured for hundreds of thousands of dollars, which you don't get with the city. So if anything goes wrong, you can actually go after the engineer who's actually doing the inspections. And now we're dealing with one professional engineer who handles all of our inspections, all 3,000 inspections last year that we did, for example. So how does that work? You ever see him?
Yeah, I see him. I meet with him on a weekly basis to make sure he's got everything he needs and everything that we need to get the permits going and approved as efficiently as we can do.
And he stamps all the
He
drawings and
signs it
everything?
all. He
Yeah.
stamps them all. He makes sure that they're all up to code, so that way whenever I file with the county or the cities, they got it all approved, no problems.
So they're continuously passing laws in Florida to try to make it faster for us to actually do the job legally and for you not to have to wait. So one of the recent ones they have is actually saying that we actually get rewarded as a contractor using a professional engineer with it's about twice as fast. They can actually turn these permits, they have to turn these permits around in 2 weeks instead of a month. So we can get it in, get it back faster because we're using a professional engineer. Now most companies can't afford that, but because we're so high volume, we work with hundreds of customers a year, and we're doing so many thousands of inspections a year, when we actually added this a few years ago, we didn't even adjust our prices. So we actually just included it because for us, it saves driving time. We have hourly staff. We're paying their vehicles. They're driving back and forth and so forth. So if we can just stay on the job with the coordination with the engineer, we finish the jobs about half the time. Like the smaller jobs, maybe the bigger jobs, not half the time, but like a smaller job, we can actually, we're removing a lot of inefficiencies by using our own engineer. We can call him and schedule when to do the inspection, right?
Yes.
Can't do that with the city. The city, you request it, and then they tell you whatever they tell you later. Anyway, so do you like working here?
I do. I absolutely do.
Great. And have you ever heard any feedback when you're at these localities about us versus the other competitors? What do the city people say?
I've heard so many things, very good feedback, people actually recommending a Bathmasters to other clients and customers. I've heard them using our permits, our paperwork as examples on how to do it all correctly. So definitely positive feedback.
And just so you know, we're pretty well known because we probably pull more building permits, I'm sure, than anybody in Pinellas County. Probably, I mean, I can't imagine anybody pulling more building permits really than anybody in the state probably, but who knows? I don't know that for sure. But we are pulling a lot of building permits. So we're actually, my dad was a plumbing inspector, so I believe in inspections. I believe in following the rule. And matter of fact, if anybody says they're going to build it to code, the first page of the code book says that you agree to follow all of the local inspections, required inspections. So if they're not pulling inspections, they're not following the code. And when you get a license, a lot of people are not licensed, but if you're actually working with a licensed contractor, the first thing that you have to sign as a licensed contractor is I test to follow the code. Okay? So if you're not following the code, you're not pulling inspections, you're not really coming to the table as a licensed contractor. I'm a licensed general contractor for Bathmasters. Of course, we have plumber here. My brother's a plumbing master plumber and our certified plumbing inspector. We have a electrician too. He handles all of our electrical work. So we can do all of it in one place. So that makes it pretty easy. Well, thank you for your time.
Of course.
Saturday. Okay, get back to work.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.